Okay, 15.2. Number 1, it tells us Interstate Tires determines that no more than 53 cents or 53% of each sales dollar should be devoted to cost of merchandise sold. We're going to compare the actual component percentage for cost of merchandise sold to the acceptable percentage. We're going to indicate if the actual component percentage is acceptable or unacceptable. If it is unacceptable, we're going to suggest an action that corrects it. Okay, so we are looking first at our cost of merchandise sold, so that first line there. Here's the acceptable percentage, no more than 53%. That is our industry. We need to figure out what is our actual percentage. Where are we going to get that from? Okay. So we need to look back on the 15.1 work together. What was our actual cost of merchandise sold percentage? 51.9%. So I got that off of my income statement that I did in work together 1, 15.1. Okay, so is this acceptable or not? It is, because it's not higher than 3%. So I'm going to put yes. Do I need to take any action here? No, because I have an acceptable rate, so I'm good. Okay, the next one, we need to look at our gross profit on sales. And they say that our acceptable percentage is no less than 47%. What is our actual percentage? 48.1%. Is that acceptable? Okay. Because it is not less than 47. Do I need to take any action? Okay, number 2 then, it says acceptable auto parts industry standards show that at least 47 cents or 47, oh, we already did number 2, sorry. Number 3, Interstate Tires currently has 110,000 of shares outstanding with a market price of $13.75 per share. We're going to calculate the earnings per share and the price earnings ratio. So at the very end of the section, we looked at those two different numbers, the earnings per share and also the price earnings ratio. Now, here it's very easy because we just have to fill it into a table. However, you will need to figure this out on your own in the future. Okay, you won't always get this nice table where you plug in the numbers. So, what is our net income after federal income tax? Where do we find that number then? We find it off of our income statement. It is the last number that we have on our income statement. So again, we need to look back at 15.1 work together, and it is 62,935 cents. We're going to take our net income after federal income tax and we're going to divide it by those number of shares that we have outstanding that they gave us in the direction. How many shares do we have outstanding? 110,000. So go ahead and divide those two. What then is our earnings per share? What are we earn? Okay, 57 cents. We should have gotten this 0.571885. That's just going to round to 57 cents. Okay, this then is our earnings per share. Now that we've figured out our earnings per share, now we can look at, well, what is our price to earnings ratio? So we need to look at, well, first, what is the market price of the share and what should we earn? Okay, price divided by share, or earn. Price divided by earn. That's why it's price earnings ratio. What is the market price per share? $13.75. They told us that in the directions. Remember, they said 110,000 outstanding shares at $13.75 apiece. What should we get for earnings per share? 57 cents per share. We're going to take then the price of the share divided by how much we should make for each share. And that gives us 24.1. This isn't a dollar amount actually. This is a ratio. So we're going to leave it as 24.1. Okay. We always want to round to one decimal place. Okay, questions on that? Okay, before I have you go on this one, the work together was pretty easy in that we met the acceptable percentages, so there was nothing that we needed to recommend to do. However, on your own, you do not meet the acceptable components percentage, so you will need to recommend some type of action. Now, what I would suggest if you aren't sure is you should look on page 458. Okay, it talks about the different actions that you can take if your components do not meet those acceptable percentages. Questions? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of time. You don't need a whole lot of time to do this, and then we're going to move on to 15.3.